Driving Mr Baggins. So, good morning, it's Wednesday. My children are at school and I have been to the supermarket and I have been to the Chinese shop to buy a book, an exercise book for my daughter. See, now, I have issues with Italian schools and how they work. So I'm from Southeast London, born and raised. Extend most of my days. And yeah, I loved it. From a little town, like little part of Southeast London, Zone 4, close to Victoria, close to Charing Cross. Oh, that's great times. Great place to live. And I now have been living in Italy since 5 days before the Twin Towers changed the whole world. So, and I'm half Italian, so I do love Italy, love it. But at the same time, I really wish my kids could live in England, because there are, there's sort of aspects of England that I just miss and love. And now there's the whole Brexit thing going on now. So actually at the moment, I don't follow politics. I do think it's important to vote. I don't really follow politics. There's a little bit of a conflict there, but I'm aware enough to know that in my mind the whole Brexit thing is a fiasco. So, so there are some aspects at this point I would think, all right, maybe it's not so bad to live in Italy now. And, there are worse places to live. I live by the sea. It's great. I love it. I love my little house. It's not mine. I rent it, but I love it anyway. I made it my own. But there are aspects of the education system that I really do not like. Now, again, when I was at school and everything in England, it was a long time ago now, so things obviously have changed, but there are certain things that I know haven't changed. Like just walking into an English classroom, walking into an Italian classroom, you were just struck by the emptiness of the classrooms in Italy. So English classrooms are full of, just stuff all over the walls, and they're just crammed with so many things to really stimulate the children, their minds and everything. But in Italian schools, you walk in and there's a couple of things on the wall, and it's really low key. Another thing that you have to do in Italy is, primary school books, textbooks for primary schools are all free. But once they hit, the equivalent of secondary school, then you have to pay for their books, and apparently they cost, 100. We're talking about people spend like 500 euros on school books for their kids. It's ridiculous. Whereas in England, the school has the books, you use the books, you don't write in them, and then at the end of the year you give the books back to the school, and the teacher checks the books to see if they're in good condition and if you damage them or not. So, I think that system works way better. Also, English schools are more prone to hands-on. They do things, in secondary school, chemistry. Now, I was, honestly, I was crap at science, crap at maths, crap at science, wasn't good at these subjects, but, we did do experiments. We had Bunsen burners, we would conduct physics experiments, we would make light switches, we would, do woodwork, we would do sewing, we would do cooking, we would do things that actually you had to physically do, which is an aspect of Italian schools that you don't get. So Italian schools are all about the theory and very little practice. Even in primary school, there's really not, when I was at school, I remember, I would make things at school. I remember we would mount, make a picture, and then we'd have to frame them. So we'd have to cut the paper and make the frame so we could put it on the wall. They don't do any of that kind of stuff out here. I teach kids I have taught kids in this area especially, and we're like, okay, let's make something out of papier-mâché, and they have no idea how to do it. I mean, I think every kid in England knows how to make papier-mâché. You get your hands, do you get it? They have no idea how to make things. And it depresses me. It makes me sad to think that these kids just don't know how to do things like that. So, I wish I could do more of these things with my kids, and I could once I sort the house out. I'm doing the whole KonMari thing. But it depresses me that my children are going to schools like that. Having said that, there is another system with Italian schools where they like the children to get teachers in the first year of primary school, elementary school, and they keep those teachers for the full 5 years that they're at that school. Now, I think this works and doesn't work. I mean, in the case of my kids, it's great because my son, he has two main teachers. They all have two main teachers, and then they have extra teachers. But both my children adore the teachers they have in their classes. And, I mean, especially, I have to say, my son's teachers have really been through a lot with my son. He had brain surgery last year. So, and they went through a lot. And I have to say, they've been really good, and and he absolutely worships, especially one of the teachers. And my daughter's two teachers, they're new, they're very young, and they're wonderful. I mean, really, really wonderful teachers. So I have to say, in that respect, it does work when it comes to my kids. But, when I was at school, if I had found that I had the same teacher that I had in, I ended up with this one teacher twice as a kid, Miss Baggins. And, oh my God, she was horrible. She hated me. She hated me, and she hated my brother. She hated me because she hated my brother. So I'm just going to be right back. I have to go and do something. Okay, I had to go and give my daughter her new exercise book for school. So actually, I just popped in and happened to find the teacher for religious studies, RE, as we would call it in England, at my school anyway. And I was just checking, actually, do they have to study like First Communion at school? Because obviously this is a Catholic country, predominantly, obviously, and I'm not. Okay, so my views on religion, I'm not an atheist. I do believe there's something. This is just, but I don't like the way the church I just don't like the church in that sense. The Catholic way of, you must, okay, so my kids haven't been baptized, right? There was this whole big conversation when I was with my ex and I was pregnant with my son, and, he was saying, you've got to baptize the kid because, that's just what you do. And, we lived in a small town, about 3,000 people, well, about 8,000 between the town we were in and the town right next to it, the village, 2 villages. So he was like, no, you've got to baptize the kids because that's just what you do. My ex-mother-in-law's, you have to. But the thing is, when you baptize a kid, and I went to speak to the priest about this, the thing is, when you baptize a baby, you are making a promise to God that you will raise your child according to the Catholic Church. Now, for me, and I spoke to the priest about this, I said, I know I'm not going to do that because I don't believe, I don't agree with the church's view on homosexuality. I don't believe in things like that. I mean, you know, fundamentally, I do believe that anyone, if two people love each other, no matter what their, you know, sexual orientation is, they should be allowed to get married. You know, it's love. What's more beautiful than love? As long as they're both consenting and they're both, you know, in love with each other, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. So the Catholic Church obviously is like, no, you can't do that, you know, and I don't like that aspect of the Catholic Church. So if I know that I'm not going to follow the beliefs of the Catholic Church, if I know that that's something I'm not going to teach my kids, I know that I would be walking into a church with my newborn baby, and I would be lying to God. Now, as I said, I have my own view. I do believe there's something. I am spiritual in that sense. There is something greater than us. My brothers don't agree. My dad doesn't agree. And that's okay. They're allowed to believe what they want. Everyone's allowed to believe what they want. That's the whole point. So, but for me to walk into a church and lie, and make a lie, and just lie to God, that's worse, isn't it, than baptizing your child? And I don't know. I just feel like it's wrong. I prefer that my children, when they're old enough, they can decide what they want. If they choose to become, you know, be religious in any way, they can do that in their own way. They can decide to do that themselves. So that was my belief. So obviously, if you haven't been baptized, you can't have your first communion. And in Italy, first communion is like a big thing. But again, when I lived in the area where I was with my ex, you know, it was all about, you know, I would see these kids with these lists, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get when I get my first communion, I'm gonna get like this, you know, gaming console, I'm gonna get this phone, I'm gonna get, you know, and they would just like reel off all these lists of toys they wanted, and it was nothing about religion, it was nothing about God. So, you know, in my mind, and I challenge anyone to disagree with me at this point, but if you want to do your first communion, this is what I would say to my kids, and I've already talked to them about it, even though they're 6 and 7. It's kind of beyond them, but you know, if they want to do first communion, they're like, Mom, I really want to do it. Fine, that's okay. I'm not going to stop them if they want to do it, but I'm making them very aware that they will not get any presents. They will not get any gifts. They will not get some big fancy meal at a restaurant that, you know, with, you know, all the family, and they're not going to get that. That is not the condition. You want your first communion, you do it because you want to be closer to God, because you believe in God. It's a faith, it's a question of faith. So if you aren't prepared to do your first communion, if you're prepared to do your first communion and you know you're going to get nothing material out of it, then absolutely, I will be there, front row, you know, and I will feel happy and proud that you're doing that. But I'm not doing it. You're not doing it for all you think you're just going to get something out of it. It's just not going to happen. And, I mean, besides the fact, they couldn't do anything because they haven't been baptized. Although I guess they could get baptized and then do the first communion if that was what they wanted to do. But anyway, so they saw the teacher for religion, and I just checked. She said, no, you know, religion is just a lesson on religion. It's not, you know, that's the church. We just teach religion, which is great, and I do think it's important for children to learn about religion. And I did check because I do feel like Italian schools are very much centered around just learning about the Catholic religion. But she said, no, you know, as they get older, they will learn about other religions, and I think that's important, because how are you going to raise a world with people who are tolerant of other people if they don't learn what their other religions are about? My kids could grow up one day and say, Mum, you know what? I want to be Buddhist. I want to be Jewish. I want to be Muslim. I don't mind. They can be any religion they want if that's what they believe in. And they follow the religion as they should. But yeah, anyway, she did say, I don't know that, hey, there's Mr. Baggins. We're driving Mr. Baggins. What do you think, Mr. Baggins? You don't believe in religion? Is that your view on religion? What do you think? Yeah? Hey, can you say hello? Mr. Baggins, you're a good boy. He's a good boy. He goes off, he does his rounds, you know, he's got his friends. He goes to the bar with his friend, don't you? Go across the way to the bar at the petrol station, just over there. Oh, he's such a good boy. Okay, anyway, Mr. Baggins, we're going to go now. It's been a longer video this time. It's time to go home. My friend Jessica's coming round. We're going to do the KonMari method. Cleaning. I'm still kind of